Waited on a line of greens and blues just to be the next to be with you. Poor Mr. Knox.
Yeah, that could be a cold open. Welcome to the Florence BobCAST. I'm your host, Mason Gummin.
And I'm Brock Taff.
Keeping you in the loop of what's going on in the school district of Florence County. This is episode 2, November 2021. U.S. News and World Report has named Florence Middle School as one of the best middle schools in the state of Wisconsin in their last report issued 2 weeks ago.
Florence Middle School ranks in the top third of all middle schools in the state. This is the first time the U.S. News and World Report has ranked middle schools.
Fall sports seasons have wrapped up over the past few weeks. The volleyball team finished their regular season with a 10-10 record, making it all the way to the regional finals. Sadly, the Lady Cats lost to Leona Wabino in 3.
The football team had a nice season with a 5-3 regular season record. They made it to level 1 in the WIAA football playoffs, but their season ended against Lena with a score of 44-14.
The cross-country team saw some fast running this season. Coach Karen Harrison said that the 7 runners, one of them being a middle school student, made great progress and strived for a continuous improvement.
Kira Sullivan, Caitlin Kelly, and Greta Nolt were also medalists in the Norway Invitational on October 11th.
And the middle school girls basketball program had a good season and is showing some great promise for the future of the high school program. The 7th grade team, although finishing 2-13, made an appearance in the Grade 8 Conference B Division Championship, losing by only 1 point, while the 8th grade team finished with a 7-5 record. On Tuesday, October 19th, the Florence elementary students and staff, along with Superintendent Mr. Carl Morin, dedicated a peace tree at the elementary school. This program is coordinated by the Menominee Indian Nation. Mr. Morin stated the tree, a white pine specifically, is meant to be a symbol of unity. This stems from the creation of the Iroquois Confederacy in the 1400s and 1500s, where members of 5 different Native American tribes that were located in present-day New York State buried their weapons beneath a white pine tree as a sign of peace and unity between the tribes. Mr. Morin is one of 4 Native American public school superintendents in Wisconsin, which he says makes the ceremony that much more meaningful. He hopes the tree serves as a reminder to students to constantly strive for peace and to make amends whenever possible.
Although fall sports have ended, winter sports are just around the corner. We will have a winter sports preview later in the episode, but we want to remind the listeners that Florence is a part of the NFHS network, and you can catch games live on any device, phone, tablet, or smart TV. The membership is $10.99 per month, but annual subscriptions are available for a discount price. Visit nfhsnetwork.com. Sign up for an account, then search for Florence High School to catch upcoming games and watch the past games, the past school events, on demand, anytime, anywhere.
On October 14th, the elementary held its first family STEM night. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. This was a partnership between the school, the elementary PTO, and local businesses. We sat down with the elementary associate principal, Mrs. Stacy Brock, to discuss the STEM night and what opportunities were made available to the students and parents who participated. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Can you tell us a little bit about the STEM night?
Family engagement is a really important part of ensuring success for students. So one way to get families involved is to have activity nights where families are welcomed into our school and we are able to provide resources and strategies for families to support their child's learning. We chose to have a STEM night for our first family engagement event. So STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. We created a STEM committee with teachers and elementary admin. The teachers came up with ideas for the activities. They put a lot of work into creating those activities for the families to participate in. So we had a couple of activities such as make it, take it math games where families could take home a game board and choose from several different grade level math concepts to create cards. So they could play the game at home, but they could also change it out and practice different math concepts. We also had a glow stick science experiment. We had all the materials that we provided for families. So for the experiment as well, we bagged the whole experiment and then families were able to take that home to do a science experiment at home together. So we had many activities for families to participate in.
What was the reasoning behind having an event like this?
Well, last year, because of COVID, we were unable to have any family engagement activities. So having an activity such as STEM night was a great way to pull the families together and back into the school. Again, we chose STEM because it emphasized collaboration, communication, problem solving, critical thinking, and creativity, which are skills that students need to be successful in today's world. And we wanted to be able to provide a night of learning for families to enjoy together. And again, provide those resources and support for parents so they can help their children at home with math and science concepts. It's a time for students to practice and participate in hands-on learning, and that stuff carries over into the classroom working collaboratively with their classmates. And parents really enjoy understanding what their children are learning here at school. And then it's also a time for parents and teachers to informally communicate and build those relationships between school and home.
We heard that there was some partnerships between local businesses for this event. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I called around in search of area businesses that I know have participated in STEM nights and other activities with other local school districts, and I wanted to invite them to be a part of our night here in Florence. BobCAST Snowplow and Bay West were two that were very excited to partner with us and provide activities for students and families. BobCAST was able to bring in a 3D scanner for graphic design that they use in designing snowplows and their other products. So they scanned the kids' hands, and the kids were able to see like a 3D representation of their hands on the computer. So they thought that was pretty cool. Bay West had students participate in a science experiment using pennies and paper, and the kids had fun doing that with their parents. So it was great to have the business partnerships with the school district, and both businesses offer a lot to our surrounding community, and they also donate and help out at times with school-related needs. And then families also learned what resources are available. So both of them really enjoyed coming to our STEM night, and we really appreciated them being able to come and be a part of our night.
Did you receive any feedback from the parents or students who participated?
Well, when I was walking around, the students said they were having a lot of fun, and I talked to them a lot throughout the evening. I talked to a lot of parents. They were really pleased that we were able to have the STEM night. They were impressed with all of the activities that were offered for families. They were having fun, hanging out with their children. We had a family engineering challenge where families were able to build a structure utilizing marshmallows, raw spaghetti noodles, tape, and string. So there was a challenge who could build the tallest structure. That was a very popular room to be in. And then we had a Lego building room that was very busy as well. So we had families building different structures with the Legos. But we have a lot of Lego kits that we utilize here. Those were two of the busiest rooms, and parents were having a lot of fun, and kids were laughing and having fun. So it seemed like everyone was really enjoying it.
Will there be any other events like this later this year?
We are hoping. We plan to have a family reading night at the end of February, and our elementary PTO has been really trying to plan some family activities as well. So there's plans for a family movie night. They're actually having a trunk or treat activity on Sunday right before trick-or-treating. So there are lots of events that we are hoping that we can still have throughout the school year.
All right. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Winter sports are just around the corner. we took some time to touch base with our winter sports coaches to have them give us a preview of their upcoming seasons. First, Mr. Brian Bomberg, head boys basketball coach.
I'm actually very excited for the season. You know, every time basketball season rolls around, I'm like a kid at Christmas time. This year we have a veteran-led crew, which has been very unfamiliar and territorial for us because the last few years we've come in with maybe 1 to 2 seniors, not a lot of experience there, but this year we have a veteran-led crew that we have a lot of promise. Last year we finished with a young crew, second in our conference, and we lost in our regional final, which still is a bummer to this day, but you know, Goodman-Pembine was the better team that night, and the ball went in the hoop for them and didn't go in for us. Last year in our regional final, when I go back to that, we had 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior on the floor. So our core crew, from what our offense was, is returning. We also, you know, we lost a leader in Blake McLean this last year, and that's going to be difficult to replace, but you know, leadership can be replaced, and I think that we can do that. The season outlook is really, really high for this year. I really think our conference games are going to be tough this year. Mr. Johnson did a great job with putting together a really good non-conference schedule for us. So we have this year we get to play our Michigan teams. Last year we weren't able to because of COVID. Our primary games this year that are going to be really tough. I go back to Goodman-Pembine. You know, we lost to them in a regional final last year, so that's going to be a game where we're going to want to play really well, and they return a lot of significant players from a year ago. Leona Wabena was really tough again, but our conference as a whole from top to bottom is going to be tough. We're going to be fun to watch, so come fill the stands this year. We'll appreciate it.
Next, Mr. Brad Perry, head girls basketball coach.
One of the biggest things we're excited about this year is getting back to a normal basketball season. The other thing too is that we were a young team last year. We only graduated 1 senior. We gained a lot of experience with our young core of players last year, and we got a good core coming in this year. Right now we had, looking at numbers, we had a good showing the other day. We're looking at fielding a JV team this year, which we weren't able to do last year, so that would be a good thing. I think it really benefits the program to have a JV team and have your freshmen and sophomores get a lot of experience in game situations at the JV level before jumping into the varsity, because the speed is too different. We did do a team camp this summer at Kearney where we took everybody with us, and they learned real fast the speed and physicality of the varsity game. So I thought that was a good experience. We did okay. I thought we improved each game we played there and did well. So we're excited to get back on the court. You know, we're returning 4 starters. Not saying that those girls are going to start again this year, because I always say, you know, you earn your starting spot, so every starting spot is up for grabs. But we're returning Audrey Selden, Paige Uren, Vicky Peterson, and Bella Millen, who were starters last year. So that's a good thing when you're bringing 4 starters back who had a year to kind of get gel together and whatnot. We have a tough conference. We really have a tough conference. Wabeno's going to be really good again. I think they'll challenge Crandon probably for the top spot. You know, Three Lakes lost in the state championship game last year. Granted, they lost 4 seniors who started or played significant minutes. For them, they'll be reloading again. Also, they'll be good. So yeah, so our conference is difficult. We're just excited to get going and hit the floor running and see what happens. You know, we start practice a week from today, and first game is 8 days later against Wasaki at home. Here we want to get the student section back in it, get the band back in there, get some energy into the gym, and let's get going.
Next, Mr. Ed Kelly, head wrestling coach.
All right, this year we're no longer combined with Gummin-Pembine, it's just Florence, Niagara. We're now going to be back down to Division 3 where we should be. This year, the AA is now having girls state championships. So I'm encouraging girls to try out for wrestling, because you'll be getting a trip to state and get a chance to get your name up on the board. This year, we got Caitlin, who's returning, and Isaiah Fennessy. We also got another transfer from Princeton, Sophie Wagner, who's going to go out. She, last year at Wisconsin Wrestling Federation Girls State High School Championship, she took 3rd place at 106. Upcoming from the 8th grade would be Brayson Kelly. Last year, he took 2nd place at state in the middle school division. I'm hoping some other kids will go out this year. I'm probably going to say is I encourage people to just give it a shot, give it a try, and if I know it's not as bad as people make it sound.
Finally, Mr. Carl Morin, head junior high boys basketball coach.
Boys junior high basketball season has started. We've been practicing for now over a week. It's interesting when you coach junior high boys basketball because there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of learning, let's say, that goes on. We have some kids that have played a lot of basketball before, and we've got some kids that have never played basketball at all. But you're starting to see them with some of the drills that we do pick up the drills pretty good. They're starting to understand footwork and and pivoting and shot selection. What's a good shot? What's not a good shot? And a lot of them are sponges. They soak up what you're teaching them, and they're really picking some things up well. I was very impressed on how they are picking up the man-to-man defense principles that we're working on some skills. On the offense, I like them, but I think they're a little impatient. They want to just get the ball and go instead of looking at the options and let the play develop. So they just need to let that slow down a little bit for them, and I think they'll be okay. It's tough to see how the season will go because I'm not very familiar with the teams in the UP, so I kind of know what the teams in Wisconsin look like. Let's say this: we will be very competitive. We've got some height, we've got some athletic ability, and we've got a lot of kids that want to learn. So it should be interesting and fun. First game is Thursday up at Western County, so we will give it everything we got. There's a few players that I think Truth Setner is an 8th grader that has a lot of athletic ability. I mean, he is very athletic. He could be one to look at. Tegan Ray is another student who's a player that is he handles the ball well. He's got a nice shot, very quick. There is a kid by the name of Jack Kester. All right. Now Jack is he's the one I call the sponge because everything you tell him, he takes it for heart and he works at it, and you can just see him building with confidence. We're working on all these post moves and pivoting and he's picking them up, and he's a lefty. And I think this kid is going to have a dynamite year on the 8th grade team. 7th graders, we got a couple 7th graders that are pretty tough. I mean, Bradley Stieber's good, Mason Koski, Caleb Baker is another big kid who's got a lot of potential. And then we've got some 6th graders that aren't bad. Carson Chrisman is a solid player. Eli Refke and Ashton Habercorn they're solid. So it should be fun to watch. So looking forward to it.
The school's Veterans Day program will be on Thursday, November 11th, beginning at 9 a.m. in the high school gym. There will also be an early dismissal on Thursday, November 11th. Elementary students will be dismissed at 12:15 p.m., and the middle and high school will be dismissed at 12:30 p.m. This is also the day of elementary parent-teacher conferences. Parents should sign up for a time slot with their child's classroom teacher as soon as possible.
A reminder that girls basketball practice begins Monday, November 8th, and boys basketball and wrestling practice both begin on Monday, November 15th. Remember, Thanksgiving break is from November 22nd through November 26th.
Look for members of the middle and high school band at Appleton Christmas Parade on Tuesday, November 23rd. The parade will be broadcast live that day on WFRV Channel 5 beginning at 7 p.m.
A list of all school events, including the full athletic schedule, can be found on the website myflorence.org or at our Facebook page. Just search Florence County School District.
That wraps it up for this month's episode of the Florence BobCAST. For more information about events at the school, please visit our website, myflorence.org, or the Florence County School District Facebook page. This episode was produced by Mr. Robert Knox. Our theme music is Dark Nights, Bright Lights by yours truly, Mason Gummin. This podcast was a production of the Florence High School Music Department. Tune in next month for the next episode of the Florence BobCAST. I'm your host, Mason Gummin.
I'm Brock Taff.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.